People talk a lot about balance these days. You need balance in your life, they say. But I've found that balance for most people is just another word for comfort. It sounds good, it feels safe, but it rarely builds anything meaningful. Because the truth is, you don't need balance, you need focus, you need that laser-like attention that shuts out the noise, the opinions, the distractions. You need those long hours where the world fades and your purpose takes center stage. The myth of balance tells you that you can have it all at once. But the people who truly change their lives, who make something remarkable happen, they understand something deeper, that every season has its sacrifice. There's a time to give your full energy to your vision, to pour yourself into the work until it starts to breathe on its own. That's not balance, that's focus. And that's where the magic begins. Balance whispers, slow down. Focus says, lean in. Balance says, don't forget to rest. Focus replies, I'll rest when I've earned it. Because when you're focused, you're not just busy. You're directed, you're intentional. You're walking in alignment with something that matters to you. So maybe what you're missing right now isn't balance at all. Maybe it's that deep, unshakable focus that makes ordinary people do extraordinary things. The kind of focus that doesn't ask for permission, that doesn't need perfect conditions. Just a vision, a commitment, and the courage to go all in. Balance is one of those words that sounds wise and comforting, but in truth, it can often be misleading. People are told to balance their work, their relationships, their goals, and their rest as if life were a perfect scale where everything could be neatly distributed. But the pursuit of constant balance can become a trap, a subtle way of avoiding the deep work that real progress demands. When someone focuses too much on keeping everything even, they rarely give enough of themselves to anything that truly matters. Balance can make life feel stable, but it can also make it ordinary. Great achievements, breakthroughs, and transformations never come from living evenly. They come from seasons of intensity, from periods where focus outweighs everything else. The illusion of balance convinces people that they can chase their dreams while staying completely comfortable. It tells them they can build something extraordinary without giving up anything familiar. But every person who has ever built greatness knows that's not how it works. Whether it's an athlete training for a championship, an artist working on a masterpiece, or an entrepreneur building a vision from the ground up, balance is rarely part of their daily life. Their focus consumes them. They give more hours, more energy, more heart. They skip the easy distractions. They live in a season of imbalance, not because they're reckless, but because they're driven by something that demands their full attention. The pursuit of balance often makes people hesitant. They start dividing their energy between too many things, trying to maintain appearances, trying to please everyone, trying not to fall behind in any area. But in doing so, they dilute their potential. Balance makes them spread thin while focus allows them to go deep. A balanced person may manage everything, but a focused person masters something. And mastery always requires imbalance for a time. It demands that certain things take priority over others until the mission is complete. The irony is that balance eventually comes as a reward for focus. Once the foundation is built, once success begins to take shape, life can regain its rhythm. But those who chase balance from the beginning often never get there. They spend their energy adjusting instead of advancing. The people who truly move forward are those who accept that imbalance is part of growth, that obsession has its purpose, and that there are seasons in life when balance is not the goal. Focus is. Focus is the force that transforms dreams from vague ideas into living realities. It is the difference between wishing for change and creating it. Many people have goals, ambitions, and plans, but few ever bring them to life because they lack the discipline of focus. Focus is not just about paying attention. It's about eliminating everything that doesn't move you closer to what matters most. It's the quiet intensity of doing one thing with full presence day after day, while the rest of the world is distracted. Without focus, even the greatest vision fades into confusion. With focus, even a small idea can become something powerful enough to change a life. Focus creates clarity. It cuts through noise, indecision, and excuses. When a person becomes truly focused, they stop chasing every opportunity and start choosing only what aligns with their mission. It's not about doing more. It's about doing less with greater purpose. Many people mistake business for productivity, but focus is what turns activity into achievement. It demands that you say no to the good so you can say yes to the great. It means letting go of comfort, ignoring distractions, and being willing to work through the monotony that separates the dreamers from the doers. Focus also builds momentum. When you pour consistent energy into one direction, results compound over time. What begins as small progress becomes unstoppable movement. But the moment you scatter your attention, switching between goals, projects, and priorities, you lose that momentum and start again from zero. Focus is what keeps you anchored when the process feels slow or difficult. It reminds you that every small, disciplined action is stacking up toward something bigger, even if the results aren't visible yet. The truth is, focus requires sacrifice. It means giving up the illusion of balance, the comfort of variety, and the instant gratification of distractions. It demands faith in a process that may take months or years to reveal its reward. But those who master focus understand that this sacrifice is temporary while the reward is lasting. The more focused you become, the simpler life feels, because decisions are no longer made out of impulse but intention. Focus doesn't just sharpen your efforts, it shapes your character. It builds patience, persistence, and resilience. It is the quiet, steady power that turns a goal into a mission and a dream into a legacy. Greatness is not born from balance. It is forged in moments of imbalance where all energy, time, and thought are poured into a single purpose. Every person who has achieved something extraordinary has gone through a season where life felt tilted, where focus consumed everything else. This isn't recklessness, it's devotion. When someone commits to building something meaningful, whether it's a dream, a business, or personal mastery, they must accept that for a while, other areas of life may take a back seat. That's not failure, that's the price of creation. The world often romanticizes success, but overlooks the quiet sacrifices that make it possible. The long nights, missed gatherings, and endless hours of practice are not signs of imbalance. They are signs of alignment with a vision that demands complete attention. Balance is comfortable, but greatness is never born from comfort. It comes from pushing beyond what's easy, from giving more than seems reasonable, from being so deeply committed that other things temporarily lose priority. The human spirit is not designed to stay in constant balance. It thrives in cycles of intensity and renewal. During a season of focus, you stretch your limits, you challenge your endurance, and you test your discipline. These are not sustainable forever, but they are essential for breakthrough moments. Once the foundation is laid and results begin to grow, balance can return, but only after focus has done its work. People who chase greatness understand that they must embrace these unbalanced seasons. They are not trying to manage every part of life perfectly. They are trying to build something extraordinary. That requires total presence in the work. It requires long periods of saying no to distractions, comfort, and convenience. It means that while others are resting in balance, they are burning with purpose. The imbalance becomes their teacher, showing them what they're capable of, revealing the depth of their drive and resilience. The truth is, you can always restore balance later, but you can't always reclaim missed opportunity. Focused seasons of imbalance are not permanent. They are necessary chapters of growth. They separate those who wish from those who act. When you give everything to your craft, when you allow yourself to lean completely into your mission, you enter a space where progress accelerates and transformation happens. Those who fear imbalance often settle for mediocrity, but those who embrace it understand that for a dream to rise, something else must temporarily give way. That is how greatness is built, one focused, unbalanced season at a time. Distraction is the quiet thief that steals more dreams than failure ever could. It doesn't arrive loudly or suddenly. It slips in subtly, taking a few minutes here, a few thoughts there, until focus dissolves completely. In today's world, distraction has become the default state for many people. Constant notifications, endless scrolling, multitasking, and the need for instant gratification have trained the mind to scatter its energy across too many directions. When attention is divided, progress slows to a crawl. Nothing great is ever built in fragments of attention. The mind, when constantly interrupted, loses its depth and power, and without depth, even the most talented person struggles to produce meaningful results. Distraction gives the illusion of productivity. A person might feel busy, engaged, and active, yet they are often moving without direction. True focus, however, demands stillness and intention. It means being fully present with one task, one thought, one goal until it's complete. But focus requires discipline, and discipline feels uncomfortable, which is why distraction is so tempting. It offers an easy escape from the hard, repetitive, and sometimes lonely work that progress demands. Every moment spent distracted is a moment stolen from mastery. Every interruption is a small cut in the momentum that fuels growth. Over time, these small interruptions accumulate, and the gap between where a person is and where they could be grows wider. The tragedy of distraction is that it often feels harmless. Checking a message, Browsing a feed or responding to every call seems insignificant. But success is built in the moments most people waste. The difference between those who rise and those who stay average often comes down to how they protect their attention. The focused individual treats their time like currency, investing it wisely and intentionally. They understand that focus compounds just as distractions multiply. 1 hour of deep, undisturbed work is worth more than 10 hours of fragmented effort. Distraction also weakens the connection between mind and purpose. When attention is scattered, clarity fades. Goals become blurred, motivation weakens, and the sense of direction disappears. But when focus is sharp, everything aligns. Ideas flow freely, energy feels stronger, and decisions become easier. Focus fuels confidence because progress becomes visible. The more one resists distraction, the more control they gain over their time, their energy, and ultimately their destiny. Avoiding distraction isn't about denying pleasure. It's about choosing purpose over noise. It's about realizing that every minute spent distracted is a minute traded away from the life you're trying to build. Balance may offer comfort, but focus is what creates greatness. Balance keeps everything steady, predictable, and safe, while focus demands intensity, sacrifice, and persistence. Balance is about maintaining. Focus is about advancing. A person who seeks balance often spreads their energy evenly across all areas of life, giving a little bit of effort to everything but never enough to transform anything. Focus, on the other hand, channels that same energy into a single direction, creating momentum powerful enough to move mountains. While balance may lead to a calm and comfortable life, focus leads to an extraordinary one because it extracts the full potential from both time and talent. Many people confuse peace with progress. They aim to keep everything under control, to never feel too stretched, too challenged, or too consumed. But progress often requires moments of pressure. It demands periods of imbalance where priorities shift and energy becomes concentrated. Focus transforms those moments into results. The greatest achievements in history have come from people who dared to be unbalanced for a season. They weren't trying to keep everything equal. They were trying to make something exceptional. Focus gives life meaning because it connects effort to purpose. It allows a person to look back and see not just that they lived comfortably, but that they accomplished something that mattered. Balance can sometimes become an excuse for hesitation. It tells people to slow down, to take fewer risks, to keep everything moderate. But focus does not operate in moderation. It thrives in commitment. When you focus on something deeply, distractions lose their power. You become consumed by your mission, your creativity, and your discipline. That kind of focus transforms ordinary effort into excellence. It's the difference between someone who does their job well and someone who changes their field entirely. Balance keeps you steady. Focus makes you exceptional. The beauty of focus is that it doesn't last forever in its intensity. Life moves in seasons. There's a time for deep work and a time for restoration. But those who never enter a season of focus rarely reach the point where balance becomes meaningful. Balance without achievement feels empty. Focus followed by balance feels fulfilling. A focused life is not one of chaos, but of direction. It's the deliberate decision to prioritize growth over comfort, progress over safety, and purpose over ease. While balance gives you peace of mind, focus gives you a reason to wake up inspired each day and the satisfaction of knowing you're building something real. You can always regain balance later, but you may never regain a missed opportunity. Life doesn't wait for the perfect moment, the ideal timing, or the right conditions. It moves forward relentlessly. The people who achieve the most understand that when an opportunity appears, it demands action, not hesitation. They recognize that moments of potential rarely arrive in neat, convenient packages. They often come disguised as challenges, as long hours, as risks that pull you out of comfort. Those who prioritize balance above all else often miss these openings because they are too busy trying to keep everything even and predictable. But progress is never predictable, and growth is never balanced. It requires leaning into imbalance, giving your full attention to what matters most right now, even if it means temporarily letting go of other things. Balance is something you can rebuild, but a missed opportunity is gone forever. The world is full of people who played it safe, who waited until they felt ready, who tried to keep every part of life perfectly organized. Yet readiness is an illusion. Nobody ever feels completely prepared for the moments that define their life. Focus demands trust. It asks you to step forward even when the path is uncertain, to act even when others hesitate. The window of opportunity is small, and it rarely opens twice. That's why focus is more valuable than balance. It allows you to seize what others overlook. When a person commits to focus, they understand that temporary imbalance is not a loss. It's a necessary investment. You may lose a bit of comfort, you may spend less time on certain things, but what you gain is far more powerful momentum, growth, and progress. Balance can always be restored once the mission is complete. Life naturally recenters itself after seasons of intensity. But if you avoid that intensity altogether, you remain in the same place, stable but stagnant. The fear of losing balance keeps many people from taking the very steps that could elevate their lives. In every pursuit worth chasing, there will come a point where you must choose between staying comfortable or diving fully into focus. Those who dare to lean in, who give themselves fully, discover that success doesn't destroy balance, it redefines it. Once the opportunity has been captured, balance returns with deeper meaning and satisfaction. But once an opportunity slips away, no amount of balance can bring it back. Focus is the bridge between potential and realization, and those who understand this truth never hesitate when life presents them with a chance to rise.